Alrighty, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Season 5, Episode 4 of Hit the Books, the podcast all about sports betting, the best bets you should be taking, and everything surrounding sports. This week, we're back here in the NFL. Week 4 this week, we got our power rankings. We got a little recap of Week 3. We got the whole entire Week 4 slate, all our predictions on those games, plus some news, little news out of the NBA, some college football here, our top games to review here for this weekend. We got 4 of them here. Power rankings in the MLB. Ryder Cup starts here this weekend, or this week, really. So we'll go over the format, scoring, schedule, things for that. Lots to look forward to in the sports world here this week. But let's introduce my co-host here with me this week. Just Huff. Huff, what do you got for us?
Yeah, this is the one weekend on the sports calendar I feel like everyone has had marked for the past, I guess, since most of this stuff was announced. End of the MLB season on Sunday, a full NFL slate, some great college football. We get your Penn State Nittany Lions hosting Oregon in their whiteout Saturday night to end off a great college football slate. Alabama, Georgia, LSU, Ole Miss, just a couple of these that we're going to get into in a little bit, but and then obviously, like you said, the Ryder Cup, the hype that's been building up for that over the past couple of months. These guys are ready to go, and seeing all the practice rounds. I think they had the Celebrity Ryder Cup today. USA bringing home a victory there, so hopefully that leads to something, some foreshadowing for Sunday. But yeah, looking forward to this weekend. Going to be a great weekend on the sports calendar. Like I said, this is one we've been looking forward to for a while.
Yeah, you're definitely right. Everyone's had this marked on their calendar here for months. So lots to look forward to. Full slate of NFL. But first, let's jump into the NBA real quick here. Just one news point for us here. The Rockets guard Fred VanVleet has torn his ACL and will miss the entirety of the 2025-2026 NBA season. A brutal blow for a young Rockets team that had high expectations coming into 2025 after a big offseason, including signing Kevin Durant. Can this Rockets team compete without one of their leaders like VanVleet? What do you think, Huff?
Yeah, I think they can. There's still a very good roster around him. It's obviously going to be, losing a veteran is never something you want. I think last year they ended around the 4th or 5th seed. I could be totally wrong on that. I always forget NBA playoff stats if you want to quote me on that. But yeah, I mean they just shipped off Jalen Green to blanking on this one as well, Phoenix. So losing a guard there, then you obviously lose Van Vliet for the year, but they get Durant. They still have Şengün. They have a couple other nice young pieces with Thompson and Reed Shepherd there. Jabari Smith Jr. I was always a fan of his, but I think this Rockets team will be fine. They'll still be a playoff team, but losing a veteran like that's something you never want going into a season where you have high hopes.
Heck yeah, good stuff there. Definitely keep an eye on that Rockets team here coming into the season here. NBA is right around the corner as well as the NHL, so we'll have more on that here coming up in a few weeks. All right, let's jump over to the college football world before we jump into the NFL and head into our rankings here. Coming into week 5, let's go over the top 10 like we have been. Number 10 here, we have Texas. Number 9, Texas A&M. Number 8, Florida State. Number 7, Oklahoma. Number 6, Oregon. Number 5, Georgia. Number 4, LSU. Number 3, Penn State. Number 2, Miami. And number 1, Ohio State. Huff, what are you thinking about the top 10 here coming into week 5 of the college football season?
Yeah, Miami looks very good. Them sitting right there at that 2 spot. Your Nittany Lions have a big one this weekend, like I alluded to, against Oregon in a Big Ten matchup. Still weird that that's a Big Ten matchup, but 3 versus 6 at a whiteout in Happy Valley this weekend. I'm very excited for that game. I believe Penn State's a 4-point favorite. We can get into the games in a second here, but LSU, another big win. Brian Kelly taking some comments after the game, saying they're not going to be able to. Why can't they run the ball? LSU's 4-0. He's happy about that for good reason. They're ranked 4th in the country, but number 7 Oklahoma just lost John Mateer, the Heisman, if not favorite. He was before I think he broke his thumb or something with his thumb. He's going to be out for 3 to 4 weeks. So losing your Heisman quarterback going into what's it called? Conference play is going to be tough, but Florida State, they have a game on Friday, I believe, against Virginia. Don't quote me on that, but I like them in that spot. I think they're laying 7.5. I like them in that spot. Texas A&M looks great. Texas hasn't really played anybody. Arch Manning still, people are still trying to run that narrative that he's not going to be good. So I'm excited to see him in a SEC matchup, a matchup against another formidable school, but Yeah, good top 10 this week. Just outside of that's Indiana, who absolutely rolled Illinois, who dropped back from a top. I think they were around 15 to just in that top 25 rankings. But Ole Miss at 13 with a big game this weekend, hosting LSU. So we'll get into some of this a little bit more here if you want to go through some of these spreads.
Heck yeah, I got these spreads pulled up. We're starting out here with number 21 USC, heading to number 23 Illinois here. USC is the favorite on the road, 6.5 points for them. The total sitting at 60.5. Any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I like Illinois at home here. I'm going to take the 6.5 points. I think them coming off a kind of an ass beating against Indiana in a rivalry game is going to be them kind of swaying this line a little bit. But I still think Altmaier is a very good quarterback. I'm going to take Illinois here plus the 6.5.
Heck yeah, good stuff. The next game that we have on our list here, number 4 LSU heading to number 13 Ole Miss. Ole Miss is the favorite at home here, 1.5 points, close one. Basically a pick 'em, 54.5 is the total, minus 115 on the money line for Ole Miss, minus 105 for LSU. What do you think about this one, Huff?
Yeah, this is going to be a very good one as well. Obviously, we saw the news that Lane Kiffin's daughter is dating. I'm blanking on his name for the middle linebacker for
Yeah.
LSU in this one. Lane Kiffin quote tweeted it and said "take the over" or commented on it and said "take the over." So he's looking to run it up this weekend. He might just be playing with him a little bit, but in this matchup side to side, this is a very good game in Ole Miss. Only a 1.5 point favorite. LSU has looked shaky. I'm going to lean on Ole Miss right here, minus the 1.5. I'd probably just say money line minus the 115 if you're going to play it, but not my most confident pick. I lean on Ole Miss.
Heck yeah, great stuff there. We're heading to some of these later games here. Alabama, Georgia is next here. Georgia at home, they're favored at 3 points for them. Their total at 52.5. What do you think about this one?
Where is this game at? I'm struggling to pull it up on my screen.
It's in Georgia.
It's in
Athens.
Georgia. Yeah, I like Georgia in this spot. I think that the home field, Alabama just doesn't obviously. A lot of people are saying it under. I'm blanking on his name, Kalen DeBoer, but I'm not big on Alabama. I'm going to take Georgia. Georgia's the better team. I know this is first ranked, but I lean on Alabama or on Georgia here to lay the 3 points and get the job done over Bama.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Alabama's just not been doing it for a lot of people this year. But let's jump into this final game we have here. Oregon and Penn State. Penn State at home, like you said, it's the whiteout. Penn State the favorite, 3.5 points for them. The total at 51.5. What do you think about this?
I saw James Franklin is 7-2 against top 10 teams at home against the spread. So I think it was within 4 points or tight spread, something like that. It played for this game. I like Penn State minus the 3.5. Oregon has to come all the way across the country into a very hostile environment. Penn State bringing the white out here. 3 versus 6. I think it's going to be a great game. I think it'll live up to the hype, but Penn State pulls out victorious in the end and covers that 3.5. James Franklin loves covering spreads. He's going to love doing it even more against Oregon. I think this is a huge game for Penn State just because you do have to go to Columbus this year and face Ohio State at Ohio State. So this is definitely one you don't want to drop here. Penn State needs this. They're going to win and cover that 3.5.
Yeah, this is definitely Penn State's first real game of the year. 3 cupcake games to start the year, and then coming into Oregon at home. Thankfully, it's at home. Hoping for the best. We'll see what happens. This will show, I think, the true blood of this Penn State team.
This is where we're going to see how good Katron Allen as a running back is,
Yep.
Drew Aller as a quarterback is. I'm interested to see Penn State in the spot. I think they deliver.
Yeah, I like to think that. All right, we got one more point here in college football news. Oklahoma State has fired head coach Mike Gundy after nearly 21 seasons with the program. Gundy left the Cowboys to 10+ win seasons. His seat started heating up last season when they went 3-9 in 2014 and then started the year 1-2, including a loss to Tulsa and getting smoked by Oregon. Will Gundy coach again in college football? Obviously not here. Obviously good done with Oklahoma State. Do you think he goes anywhere else?
I would like to think so. I just don't know how soon. Obviously, when you spend that much time with the program, I feel like he's going to, take some time off. He's been, having a rough patch of games these past couple of years and moments as well. He's been in the news for some stuff. I remember when he was defending Ollie Gordon, the new Dolphins running back who just scored first in that game last week. But I like Gundy, a guy I always rooted for. I hope to see him coach again. I'd love to see my Mountaineers go after, but we just got, year one under Rich Rodriguez. I don't love how that's going right now, but got to give the guy time to build a program here. But Love Gundy. I'd like to see him get a job somewhere, but I just don't know where would fit. Probably not power 4 if I had to say.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely keep an eye on that. I guarantee his name's going to come up somewhere. Just a matter of time. So we'll see. Probably come, off season, or if another team does a similar thing
He
and then
also has
grabs
that
him.
kind of personality, like a Gruden. I could see him do some kind of media.
Yeah, no, you're right. I could definitely see that. It's an interesting thought. All right. Well, let's jump over to the NFL here. Let's start out with our power rankings before we get into a little bit of week 3, week 4 action. Power rankings are as followed. Coming in at number 5, the Detroit Lions. Number 4, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 3, the Los Angeles Chargers. Number 2, the Philadelphia Eagles. And number 1, the Buffalo Bills. What do you think about the power rankings here for this week, Huff?
You updated these lists from the group chat?
Oh, maybe not. I didn't
I don't think
copy
we
it. I
did.
don't.
Yeah, I put them in here before I sent them. Then I was like, I'm just gonna send them. But yeah, the list's a little. It's not much different. It's still, yeah, it's just Bucks and Lions are swapped. So Bucks at 5, Lions at 4, Chargers at 3, Eagles at 2, and the Buffalo Bills at 1. Chargers obviously look unstoppable right now. They have a game on Sunday against the New York Giants, going with Jackson Dart there. Lions with another big win in Baltimore. That was a statement win, get them to 2-1. And then the Bucs look really good as well, but starting to get injured, so it's going to be interesting to see how they hang around. But a solid top 5 heading into week 4.
Heck yeah. Lots of good stuff there. Let's jump into our week 3 recap here before we jump into week 4. Week 3 of the 2025 NFL season kicked off Thursday night with the Bills fending off the Dolphins to stay undefeated. The early window Sunday was filled with multiple shocking finishes. The Browns handed the Packers their first loss of the season on a field goal by kicker Andres, I can't say his last name, Smintz, I think. As time expired, both the Rams, Eagles, and Bucks Jets games had blocking field goals returned for touchdowns late. The Eagles' stunning finish capped their 19-point comeback in the second half. The Jets didn't hold back on their lead after the Bucks marched for a game-winning field goal. The late window Sunday had its own share of last-minute finishes, with the 49ers and Chargers winning on time-expiring field goals. Meanwhile, the Seahawks and Bears dominated in their wins over the Saints and Cowboys, respectively. The Lions finished the week with a statement road victory at the Ravens on Monday night. Huff, what are your thoughts on week 3 here before we get into week 4?
Yeah, Steelers with a big win up there in New England. A lot of good games this weekend that, obviously me and Ace were going head to head there. You as well, but, Steelers pulling out a big win in Foxborough. It wasn't the prettiest. I think 5 turnovers for that Patriots team. So 4 on the ground, 1 through the air for May. 1 interception got called back. Steelers pull out 21-14. Steelers get to 2-1 heading to Ireland this week. It's going to be a great game against the Vikings. We saw what they did against the Bengals, absolutely looking great with Carson Wentz as Kevin O'Connell, the true quarterback revival, coach, best quarterback coach, however you want to word it. Vikings win 48-10 over Cincy. That was a crazy one. So Steelers going up against a Minnesota team that, kind of dumped it on a Cincinnati team that's, down and out right now. Not a lot of promise over there in Cincinnati without Joe Burrow. And that defense just not being able to stop anything. But Colts get to 3-0. A lot of good games. They were just outside of my top 5. Packers drop a bad one to the Browns. Browns get their first win on the year. That's going to cost the Packers a spot in our top 5 at least for this week. Chiefs get their first win, but I don't think they look great at all. And then to round things out, like I said, the Lions with a huge win in Baltimore. Ravens on Monday Night Football wearing the black jerseys. Ace loves to point out Lamar Jackson's record against the NFC. Lions came in there, win that game 38-30. It was really 2-possession game. Ravens scored late to make it look tighter than it was, but Detroit handled that. The 4.5 was in question at sometimes. I think they were down by 7 right out of the half, but Lions, they look great in that game. Look for them to keep rolling.
Heck yeah, week 3 was great. It's time for week 4. Let's jump into some of these games here, starting out Thursday Night Football here, Seahawks and Cardinals. Cardinals at home, but the Seahawks are the favorite here, just 1.5 points for them. Their money line at -125. Cardinals at +105. Total is sitting at 43.5. What do you like in this one, Huff?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Cardinals here, plus the 1.5 points. I'm going to take the point again. The +105 isn't enticing enough. I'll take that 1.5. We saw in this exact spot last week, Cardinals were a 1.5 point dog. They covered, but didn't win outright. They lost, I think it was 16-15 because the Cardinals had a safety. late in the game. I had the Cardinals on the money line. I live bet them and then ended up losing on that field goal there. So that sucked. But I'm going to take the plus 1.5 this week because I didn't do it last week in that bet because I did it live. I'm going to take the Cardinals plus 1.5 on Thursday Night Football. There's too much good stuff going on right now with the Seattle Seahawks. I don't think this team is actually that good. Cardinals, historically don't play great against the Seahawks, but this game is in the prime time at home. I'm going to take the Cardinals to pull out on top, but give me that 1.5. I say pull out on top, but my pick is the 1.5.
I really like that pick. I think that 1.5 point is everything, especially this week here.
17-16, 21-20.
Yep. I like the Cardinals this week. I think it's a great, solid pick. Let's jump into our Ireland game here. That's going to be on Sunday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. Vikings and Steelers here. Steelers are considered the home team here, but Vikings are the favorite. 2.5 points for the Vikings, minus 145 on the money line. Steelers money line at plus 120 total, sitting at an even 41. What do you think about the Steelers here this week, Huff? What are they going to be able to do in Ireland?
I was kind of surprised we're getting 2.5 points here. Not saying we're, world beaters, but I expected this to be closer to that Cardinals line at 1.5. Steelers plus 105 on the money line, but I think the Steelers pull out a victory here. I think this is all set up for the Steelers. First game in Ireland. It's the Steelers, ambassador of Ireland, Rooney. I think Steelers are going to be, having their A game come, over in Ireland, getting there early. I actually don't know when they're going. Can you try to look that up? That's usually like a big story with these away games. Try to look up when the Steelers are leaving for this game. But I like the Steelers
tomorrow.
Here. Tomorrow?
Yeah.
All right, that's usually good. Well, some teams usually go fucking early, but I think the Vikings have two international games the next 2 weeks. They have this, and then I think they're in England next week. If you could verify that as well, I just want to make sure on that because maybe they're going later this week because they're staying longer. I don't know, but I usually like to bring the travel into it because I feel like that helps getting your jet lag under you, getting the use of that time change because that has to be strange going over there and playing a football game.
Okay, the Steelers wanted to go over earlier in the week, but the NFL said no, making each team arrive at the same time.
Wow. That's weird. Why do they have to? That's really weird.
I can't find out why. I don't see why.
I feel like there's usually a story like some teams go on Tuesday and some teams go on Friday.
The team was left in the dark on the Steelers' travel plans up until Sunday evening after the Week 3 game was complete.
That's weird. Yeah, I never heard that. I've always heard. I remember in the past couple of years, like Vrabel with the Titans was always big about going early and like getting there and getting used to it and all that stuff. Like, I don't know. I think that's weird that they're not going at the same time, or they are going at the same time. But yeah, my pick is the Steelers to win this game. I'm shocked we're getting 2.5 points here, but I'm going to take the plus 120. This one is tight enough, but if it was 3, I'd either suggest buy to 3 or take the money line. And take the risk there. But I just don't see Carson Wentz do it in back-to-back weeks. I know a lot of that 48 points last week was that defense, and I'm blanking on the guy's name. But he had, I think, 2 pick sixes and a fumble recovery or some crazy stat line like that. I don't think that happens against, Aaron Rodgers, who's historically owned this Vikings franchise. I'm going to take him here to get one last win against them. Give me the Steelers plus 120 on the money line.
Heck yeah. I like that play a lot. Like you said,
Jalen Moore an anytime touchdown as well. I love that.
I love that. Yeah, I think the money line's the play. I think if you're at all hesitant, buy it to that 3 points, and I think you're safe as all can be. I don't like saying that, but
I was looking at the first half under for this one. Obviously, international unders.
Yeah.
I like under 20.5 in the first half. I don't like the full game under 41.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think the second half's going to be
it's
going to
be flirting with that 20. I just think it'll be. Right. I think it'll be under 20.5. It might be 20.
Right.
Like 10-10, 13-7, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Alrighty, lots of good stuff there out of Ireland. Let's head back to the U.S. here. 2 teams in the 1 o'clock slate here. 2 teams 0-3 on the year, looking for their first win. Texans and Titans. Texans at home here. They're favored by 7 points. Their total at 38.5, one of the lower ones of this week, if not the lowest. What do you think here, Huff? What team gets their first win? 7 points for the Texans.
Texans are going to get the win. You won't see me bet on the Titans much, if at all, this year. This team hasn't shown me much. Cam Ward, I'm not as big on him as most people. Laying 7 points with an 0-3 Texans team, though, in a divisional game, this AFC South, I wish the Titans were home here getting 7 points. I'd be all over them, but this game is in NRG in Houston, but I don't really have a play on this side. Crazy low total also. I maybe would like the over, if anything. Two defenses that haven't really lived up to it. But the Texans offensive line looks terrible. That's another team I'm going to be avoiding until they get their act together down there in Houston. This is just a no play all around.
Heck yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. Again, two teams looking for their first win. I'm taking the Texans, but like you said, I don't know if I can bet on either of these teams in such a shit spot.
I can't lay 7 points with an 0-3 team.
Exactly.
In division too.
Yeah. While I think this is going to be actually a semi-entertaining game, I think it's the shit game of the week, if you will.
It probably is. I mean, Bills Saints coming up. That'll be a rout, but
that too.
Yeah, other than that, there's some pretty good games this week.
All right, next up, we got Commanders and Falcons in Atlanta here. Commanders the favorite here, just 1 point for them. Their money line at -115. Falcons at -105. Total at 45. What do you got in this one off?
I'm going to take Atlanta on the money line minus the 105 here. They obviously looked terrible last week. I did not have them last week, but I took them in that Sunday night spot against the Vikings. They won that game outright. Took them with the points. I think it was +4 or 5, maybe 3.5, somewhere in that range. But I'm going to take the Falcons here, come back home, get a win against a Commanders team that I just don't think Marcus Mariota is going to look that good in back-to-back weeks. I'm not as big on this Commanders team as most people. Give me Atlanta on the money line minus the 105.
Obviously, if this was Jaden Daniels, I think this would be a different game. Obviously, if it was Jaden Daniels, I think the spread would be even different, right?
It'd probably be 3.5, yeah.
Of course, right? So, yes, while I agree with you, the Falcons are going to win this one. I think this Commanders team should beat this Falcons team on paper. Not with Marcus Mariota, obviously, but
Falcons look so bad last week. I'm like, they didn't score last week. I think they come out. I don't think Michael Penix can look any worse than he did last week. Bijan Rob, they still have all the weapons on offense. I think they'll. I just think the fact that this is home and a pick 'em, backup quarterback going for the Commanders. I know it's Mariota, who's a veteran, but I like Atlanta at home.
Yeah, PFD's Commanders are sadly not going to be able to make it through this week here. But
yeah, the left hands will be down on Sunday.
Alrighty, let's jump into this next 1 o'clock game here. Saints and Bills, another shit game here, but Bills are the favorite. Biggest spread of the year that we will probably see. 16 points for the Bills. The total for the Bills at 48. Bills money line at -1,600. Saints at +900. Huff, what are your thoughts here?
If I had to, I would never take a 16-point spread. If I had to, I'd probably, if anything, tease the Saints and get them even higher, just because this is still an NFL game. Like, you're getting 16 points as an NFL team, but I mean, you will not see me bet on the Saints. This is the other team. I said the Titans. This is the other one that I just can't bring myself to put money on. Unless I'm getting an insane amount of points. This is an insane amount of points for an NFL game, but the Bills are firing on all cylinders. But, I mean, they've been winning some close games. That Dolphins game is closer than it could have been. Dolphins covered a 12-point spread, but I think the Saints are terrible. I'm not gonna have a play on this one. Josh Allen, James Cook, they'll all get in the end zone. So some good anytime touchdown scores to throw in your parlays for Sunday.
Yeah, those odds are so crazy. 16 points, -1,600 on the money line. I mean, got to be able to find something like your first half under or something like that.
Saints team total, maybe like under.
Yeah, Saints team total under. Like,
I'd rather Bills team total over than Saints under.
Fair. What are they at?
Because Bills could go crazy on this defense. Are you looking up to what the team total is?
Yeah, like 15.5.
For the Saints, what is it for the Bills? 24.5, 27.5, 28?
31.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that.
That's crazy.
That's a lot.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I could see it score 34.
I could too, but like 16 is so many points.
34-13 will be the final score of this game.
Yeah. That's fair.
Total's 48. That fits too.
All right. Well, let's keep it moving here. Another 1 o'clock matchup. Browns-Lions in Detroit. Another big spread here this week. Lions are the favorite here. 10 points for them. Their money line, the total sitting at 44.5. Huff, what do you think about this one here?
Yeah, this is at least a little bit closer of a spread. Browns coming off a win. Lions look like they're back to their self of last year. I lean on the Lions minus the 10 points. I know I said I don't love laying big spreads, but I'm not big on this Browns team at all. That defense is pesky, and that's why they beat that Packers team last week. So, I don't know if I'm going to card this one, but maybe a low scoring game as well. I think this will be pretty one sided, similar to the last game. But I'd lean on the Lions here. Lions will get the job done, get a win. Maybe under 45. This would be a good teaser leg for an under. Get this up around 50. I don't see this game go over.
Yeah, I feel that. This is definitely an interesting one inside in Detroit. Tens so many points, double digits. It's just always so many points.
The
I
Browns
wonder,
defense has been good this year. Like, I
yeah,
think they're going to be able to stall out that Lions offense every couple times. I would look to tease this under up to around 50.
the Lions are 15-10 again. Oh, no, that's never mind. Alrighty, lots of good stuff there. Let's keep it moving through the 1 o'clock slate here. Panthers and Patriots here. Another great matchup. Ace would love this matchup. Patriots are the favorite here. 5.5 points for them at home. The total at 43. What do you think Ace would say about this game, Huff?
I just Patriots coming off a loss, Panthers coming off a huge win here. I think this is a sell high spot on the Panthers. I think the Patriots will get a win. I don't love 5.5 points. I think I don't know. It's hard to be, as confident as he is in this team when they're 1-2. I don't think the Steelers are that good. I don't think the Raiders are that good. Two teams they've lost to. They've only beat the Dolphins. I think this would be a win for them, get them back to 500, but I don't think much of this Panthers team either. So the fact this game's in Foxborough helps out the Patriots, but 5.5 points is tough. I'd lean on the Patriots on the money line, a nice little parlay leg.
Yeah, I actually really agree with that. It's a good parlay leg. So stay tuned on Sunday for our parlay on our live stream of all our our favorite games here for Sunday on YouTube, Rumble,
2-1 on the
TikTok,
season
and
through
more.
3 weeks on parlays.
It's huge. I love it. That's awesome. Alrighty, another 1 o'clock matchup here. Chargers and Giants. Another crazy great game here. Giants are at home, but the Chargers are the favorite here. 6.5 points for the Chargers. Their total at 44. What do you think about this one, Huff?
I'm going to lay the 6.5 with the Chargers, and this scares me because we don't know what Jackson Dart's going to look like, but I think against this Chargers defense, who I'm pretty high on, I think he is going to struggle. I don't look for too much out of this Giants team. I think they're, Dable's coaching for his job. I think he's going to do everything he can to score points here, but I like the Chargers minus the 6.5. I think the Giants are terrible. And a lot of people had expectations for that, defensive line and defense over there in New York. It just hasn't been put together. So, till proven otherwise, I'm going to go Chargers minus 6.5 in this spot.
I think that's a smart play. I mean, I don't think the Giants are going to be able to put up that many points. 44 is an interesting number. I feel like that's kind of high. Not that high, just like 4 or 5 points higher than I'm expecting. But I think I like the Chargers as well in this game. 6.5 points is the number, I think. I don't think they're going to, I think they're going to win by 7 type deal.
Yeah, I agree.
Alrighty, next matchup here. Eagles and Bucks. Two teams looking for their first loss here. Two teams 3-0 through 3 weeks. Bucks are at home. Eagles are the favorite here. 3.5 points for them. Their money line minus 190. Bucks money line at plus 155. The total at 43.5. What do you think about this one, Huff?
Yeah, obviously Eagles kind of looked dead in the water last week in that first half against the Rams. Rams look very good in that spot. You got to put good teams like that to sleep when you have them in that spot, especially at home in Philly. Rams kind of choked that one away, a block field goal on the final field goal there. And the Eagles pull out after a Jordan Davis. It was it felt like 100-yard fumble return, but it wasn't. I think it was wherever they were kicking that field goal from, maybe the 30, 35. So 60, 70 yards, but it felt like he was running forever. I don't know how no one caught him, but the game was over by that point anyway. In this spot, I like the Bucks here, plus the 3.5. Maybe even on the money line, plus 155. I think this is a good spot to catch a team at home. The Bucks have had the Eagles number over the past few years, and I like the Bucks here, plus the 3.5. Sprinkle on the money line. Even this is probably my favorite dog of the week.
I think that's a solid pick.
I guess Steelers are dogs too. Those two.
Fair. I think that's a solid pick. I don't think the Eagles are. I don't know. I think that tush push is the only thing they got. I'm not that impressed by the rest of their game. But the Bucks, I like. I hope for the best for the Bucks, but we'll see what happens in this matchup here come Sunday. Let's jump into our 4 o'clock slate here. Colts and Rams is our first one here. Rams are at home and the favorite here. 3.5 points for them. Their money line at -190. Colts at +155. The total for this matchup at 49.5. What do you think about this one here? Rams at home. Colts undefeated.
This is tough. I love this Colts team. I've backed them before the season. I said that they were going to be in this spot, not necessarily 3-0, but that they'd be a pesky playoff team. And on that picture at the end of the year, I think they get their first loss here, but I like the Colts +3.5. I don't have an official lean on this one yet. I could see this go either way. Daniel Jones is playing great football. This team just looks kind of like a inspired team. They finally have a leader they can trust at the quarterback position. Starting to think maybe he is the guy there for Indianapolis. In Anthony Richardson isn't what everyone thought he was, and it looks like maybe they just need to get a guy under center and get Shane Steichen, a guy that he can truly work with to run that offense. Because this Colts team looks great. Jonathan Taylor looks great. The receivers look great. They're 3-0 for a reason. You're not going to see me take the Rams on the -3.5 for money line here. But I could see the Colts drop this one. My pick, if I had to give one right now, would be Colts +3.5.
I'm agreeing with you yet again here. I think that's a smart play. Colts being undefeated. Colts just looking very strong through these first 3 weeks. Rams also looking very strong, but Rams at home, very possible Colts drop this one. So I think that's a smart play. Another 4 o'clock matchup here. Jags and 49ers, another team. 49ers undefeated through 3 weeks, but they're at home. They're the favorite. 3.5 points for them. Their money line at -185. The Jags at +150. The total at 47, even 47. What do you think about this one, Huff?
Yeah, I like the Jags here. I would think that either the Colts or Jags will win their games in this 4 o'clock slate. Either the Colts over the Rams or the Jags over the Niners. I'm more confident in the Jags to beat the Niners. I'm not big on this 49ers team. Very injured. They're 3-0 with Mac Jones. They don't have many options. McCaffrey's look good. Certain parts of that team looks good. They're still a good roster, but they're very injured. They just lost Bosa for the year, along with a laundry list of other players that are already out or, got hurt in this past week. Laying 3.5 points with the team of backups. I'm going to take the Jaguars, who I think are, could be a division winner this year in the AFC South if the Colts end up cooling off. But, they're going to be pesky in that wild card spot. If the Colts do end up winning that division, which I think they will. But I'm going to take the Jags +3.5 here, sprinkle on the money line as well. I think they could win this game.
Interesting. All right. I'm not sure what I think about this one here. 49ers just, I feel like they look strong. Jags don't look bad either. But I think I'm going to take the 49ers in this one. 3.5 is just right over that limit there of what I'm thinking, but we'll see what happens here on Sunday. I don't think I'll be playing this game. Yeah.
Cross-country flight for Jacksonville. I could see it, but
yeah. 3.5 is just
the big win last week against Houston. I was on Houston. I guess I'm higher on the Texans than most people through the first 3 weeks, but I think this Jaguars team's pretty good. I could see them get a win here.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair. Alrighty, let's jump into this next 4 o'clock game, 4:25 p.m. Ravens and Chiefs in Kansas City. Ravens are the favorite here, 2.5 points. Their money line at -150. Chiefs at +125. The total at 48.5. What do you think about this one, Huff?
I lean on the Ravens here, -150 on the money line. I don't like the spread either way. I'd say the Ravens -150 on the money line is going to be my pick. I don't see the Ravens starting 1-3, and what's crazy is one of these teams have to. Chiefs and Ravens both sitting here at 1-3 in this game, or 1-2, and this game is in Kansas City. It's going to be crazy to see the Chiefs at 1-3, but I think the Ravens pick up a win here after a tough loss to those Lions on Monday Night Football. I think they bounce back and get a win here, because if these teams play each other in the playoffs, I think we'd all say the Chiefs will get the job done, just because Lamar's history and all that stuff. Is this Ravens team that much better? They haven't looked great for sure. Their defense has a bunch of holes around them. Lamar dropping back to pass. He's getting sacked left and right. So I'm not my most confident, but I'd lean on the Ravens here, -150 on the money line.
Like you said, one of these teams has to be 1-3 after this week. I think it's going to be the Chiefs as well. I like that Ravens money line pick for sure. We'll see what happens on Sunday. Another matchup here. Two teams also 1-2. Again, Bears and Raiders in Vegas. The Bears are the favorite here. Just 1 point to pick them here. Total at 48. Money lines on both sides at -110. What do you think here, Huff? Both teams 1-2.
Yeah, I like the Bears here to come into Vegas and get a win. -110 on the money line. I think the Bears kind of might have found something last week in that game against the Cowboys, where I look for them to continue and build off of that against a weak Raiders defense. Give me the Bears on the money line on the road. A lot of road teams I like in this I haven't picked a home team in this 4 o'clock slate.
That's funny. That's surprising. That's funny.
Colts, Jags, Ravens, Bears, all road teams.
Alrighty, let's keep it moving here into Sunday Night Football. The Packers and the Cowboys in Dallas for this one here. The Packers are the favorite here. 7 points for them. The total for the matchup sitting at 47.5. What do you think about this one, Huff? This Packers team looking strong. Some saying frauds. Cowboys team not looking so strong. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, 7 points is tough on the road in Sunday Night Football, but Micah Parsons is going to have something to prove in this game. Obviously, Jerry Jones said they're not going to do the tribute, which I do kind of agree. Your team's 1-2. You're not going to do a tribute for a guy that you just traded, 6 weeks ago, whatever it is, however long ago it was, the end of August, about a month ago. But I lean on the Packers here. I think they're a great, end of your parlay on the money line. Packers, minus 350 there. Whatever you can find the best price at. I think this will be a good parlay leg. I'd look for, Micah to prove a point here. I think this Packers defense will come out strong here. I would lean on the over, despite I think the defenses show up, but the Cowboys defense is so bad. I think the Packers will put up points, and the Cowboys do have a good offense. No CeeDee Lamb this week. He's obviously out for a couple weeks, missing time in that game last week, getting hurt early there, but I'd lean on the Packers. No, I guess I'd say over 47.5. I don't love a play on this one other than the Packers to win.
I think that's smart. Good leg for your parlay
And
leg.
Josh Jacobs will start a new touchdown streak. He will get in the end zone.
Heck yeah. Well, like I said, make sure to stay tuned for our live stream on Sunday for all of our favorite games of the week, heading through those, making our picks and things like that. All our picks posted on Instagram and Twitter as well. But let's jump into Monday night here. 2 games on Monday, 7:15 and 8:15. First one, Jets and Dolphins. 2 teams with yet to see their first win. Dolphins at home, they're the favorite as well. 2.5 points for them. Their money line at minus 150. Jets at plus 125. The total sitting at 45. What do you think about this one, Huff?
I hate this game, and I promise
Slop.
I probably will not be betting on it. Maybe a Breece Hall touchdown, but if I had to give a pick on the side, I do think the Dolphins win the game.
It's fair. Yeah, not much to say about this one. Going to be a slop fest, but they wedged in there on Monday night somehow. So, but this next one,
I'm glad they didn't make it a standalone Monday night game.
Fair, very fair, because there'd be no viewership. But this next one's going to be a little more interesting. Bengals and Broncos here. Broncos at home as well as the favorite. 7.5 points for the Broncos. First time I think we've seen the Bengals not favorited or underdogs by this much. But the total sitting at 44 for this matchup here. What do you think the Broncos do at home?
Yeah, I like the under 44 here. I think that, this Broncos offense has been stuttering at times to start, hence their 1-2 start to the season. I mean, they're a leverage flag away from beating the Colts to being 2-1, but I'd lean on the Broncos here to get the win. I like the under. 44 is a little low, but I'd lean on the under. First half, full game. I think this will be a low-scoring game. Despite the Bengals defense not being great, I don't think Browning will get going in this one. Give me the Broncos to win the game. I lean on the under as well.
Yeah, like I said, another interesting one here. Going to see what happens on Sunday. Probably no pick on this one for me. Like you said, low total. Not sure what to think.
2 Monday night games. They couldn't even give us a good one.
Crazy. Whatever. That's the NFL for you, but that's all we got here out of week 4. Make sure to stay tuned on Instagram and Twitter for all our picks on Thursday, Sunday, and Monday. We will make sure we release those as early as possible so you guys can get those, bet those, and win with us. We got one more point here out of the NFL. The Houston Texans have released safety C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Do you see C.J. GJ getting picked up by another team? And if so, where could you see him go? What do you think, Huff?
I could see him get picked up by a team, obviously. Yeah, I could even see him go back to the Eagles or a team that he's been with. He's a veteran in this league. He loves to run his mouth. We saw that against that Tampa Bay game. I think it was Sunday night or Monday Night Football a few weeks ago in week 2. But I think he'll find a spot before the end of the season.
Heck yeah. Well, that's going to wrap up everything we have in the NFL here this week. Let's move forward to the MLB. Starting out with our power rankings here, coming in at number 5, we have the Milwaukee Brewers. Number 4, the Cleveland Guardians. Number 3, the New York Yankees. Number 2, the Seattle Mariners. And number 1, the Philadelphia Phillies. As we gear closer to the playoffs here, what do you think, Huff, about these power rankings before we get into a little piece of news before we get into some golf.
Yeah, good MLB, end of the season coming up here. We're gonna have some good playoff races, good power rankings as well. This Guardians team is, on fire. We're gonna get into them a little bit on this stretch that they've been on, but yeah, good top four, a good top five in the MLB. Yankees looking like they could get back to where they were last year in the World Series. Mariners on fire as well. I'm rooting for. I'd love to see a Phillies Mariners World Series. I think that'd be awesome. If not, get the Yankees in there, Phillies Yankees for some big markets. But yeah, great top five in the MLB.
Heck yeah, and we got one more point in the MLB here. The Cleveland Guardians are an absolute tear this past few weeks. They're now 16-2 in their last 18 games, now tied with the Detroit Tigers for the division lead in the AL Central. They're hosting the Tigers tonight and tomorrow to close out their season series. Who wins the AL Central, Huff?
I think the Cleveland Guardians do. I don't know who they play after this, which is big. Let me pull that up here because obviously they're playing against each other head-to-head right now in a rain delay, so no score there in that one. But let me pull up and see who these teams play in their weekend series. Cleveland hosts the Texas Rangers, and the Tigers are playing, hold please, at Boston. Yeah, I'm going to go with Cleveland wins this, wins the division. Tigers may not even be a playoff team after the start that they had. That's going to be a tough sledding there because I think the Astros could get in. I think the Astros do get in. Sorry.
Well, we're definitely getting close here, so make sure you stay tuned for all of our MLB talk as we gear up for the playoffs and head through the playoffs. Definitely have some picks on the MLB playoffs here this year, so make sure you stay tuned for those. But next, we got some golf here. The 2025 Ryder Cup has finally arrived, teeing off this Friday, September 26th at Bethpage Black in New York, basically in Stu Finder's backyard. Let's take a look at the odds and some of the round props for this weekend. Before that, I want to go through some of the format, the scoring, the schedule, things like that. The 2025 Ryder Cup's a 3-day match play event with a total of 28 points available. The first team to reach 14.5 points wins. Day 1, Friday, and Day 2, Saturday, will each feature four foursomes, alternate shot matches in the morning and four best ball matches in the afternoon. Day 3, Sunday, consists of 12 singles matches where each player competes head-to-head. A match win is worth 1 point. A tied match is a half point for each team. And like I said, the first team to accumulate 14.5 points wins the Ryder Cup. As for odds and things like that, I'm seeing on BetMGM, they have lots of, I'm kind of stumbling on this, head-to-head type stuff. Points match betting is what they're calling it. So I assume Scotty is playing Rory and Patrick Cantlay is playing Tommy Fleetwood. These aren't just like made up matches, right?
Yeah, I was trying to find like the list of like who's in the alternate shot and all that stuff on Friday.
Right.
I couldn't find like a good list of it, so I don't know if these are true matchups. So I don't have like any official picks on this, but what are the closing odds, or at least right now on the US to win or Europe to win?
US to win is favored at -150. Europe at plus 170, and they have tie on here plus 1,000.
Yeah, they could both just get, 14
I guess
points?
they could both get 14.5 points.
Yeah.
Because it is an even number.
Because if it was 14-14, it's first to get 14.5, and then if they tied that last event, it's just a tie.
Right.
What's tie plus what?
1,000.
Oh. Damn, so it's not really that crazy for the ties.
I agree. That's why I think it's odd that it's a thing. I understand it's possible, but I think it's way harder to,
I think it should be like plus, like 2,500.
Yeah, at least, right? I mean,
yeah.
Again,
I don't know. I like USA to win. I think the lineup that we have is crazy. I know Europe has a good team, or the world, whatever they're called, but I'm gonna go with USA -150. Lay the juice. The boys will get it done and bring it home on home turf.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I think -150. I think that's actually a good price for all this golf you're betting on. Just it's actually a big crowd, but hopefully US can pull it off here. Like you said, Europe, or are they calling it the world? Do you know what they're calling it?
It's Europe.
I think it's Europe, yeah, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I can't find anything on matchups or anything like that.
I don't think they have it announced yet. I don't think the captains have to make their official picks until like Thursday at noon.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's fair. Yeah. Oh my God, that's
funny. They're watching them warm up and like see how they're doing right now, and then after they watch their warm up rounds, they're probably making their decisions.
On golf.com, where I look at the schedules for this stuff, it says 2025 Ryder Cup Friday matchups, tee times, TBA.
Yeah. They said Bryson on the first hole has been trying to go for the green on every to do what he did it. I forget where that was the last time he did it when he drove the first green and eagled the first hole at the Ryder Cup, but
Oh, yeah.
um they said he's been going for it every time on the first
Nice.
hole.
Well, I think it's going to be electric golf. I think it's going to be really fun to watch. I hope they do some good coverage on it.
I hope the
I know they're.
broadcast is good. That's that like this kind of stuff when the hype lives up to it, and like golf is known for having like the sit back, relaxed. I hope this is more like upbeat kind of, let the crowd get into it. Don't mute out some of the crowd noise, all that kind of stuff. I think that should be a part of it.
Yeah, I totally agree. Alrighty. I think that's going to wrap up everything we got this week. Anything to add before we get out of here, Huff?
No, yeah, make sure you catch all of our official picks. I know we just went through a whole slate of college football, NFL, on the Ryder Cup here, but any official picks we go with, I'll get out on our Twitter, HitTheBooks.pod, or HitTheBooks_pod on Twitter, HitTheBooks.pod on Instagram, HitTheBooks Sports on YouTube and TikTok for any of our sports social media content. You can catch any of that there, but catch all of our official plays on Instagram and Twitter. Turn on that post notification so you don't miss anything. All free plays. I think two of us right now positive in the NFL. Mackey has some work to do there, but he knows what's he has a long road ahead of him to do it. But college football, we've been good. Golf, I haven't had much golf to bet on, but the Ryder Cup is definitely one that we're all going to have our eyes on, and I'll be watching. A great weekend of sports ahead, and I can't wait for it. So, sit back, relax, and watch some sports this weekend.
Heck yeah, lots of good stuff. We will see you guys next week.